I got to say about that. Monica Munoz, Dr. Marshall, what should my start response be when my family goes with me about separation of church and state? Okay. Pope Pius the Ninth. Write this down, Monica. Pope Pius the Ninth wrote the Syllabus of Errors. And if you want to see this quote, you can Google it. You can find it online. Also, I've documented it in my book, Infiltration. If you want, you can get it on Amazon. If you want a signed copy of Infiltration, go to patreon.com/Dr. Taylor Marshall. The different levels. I can send you a signed book. I'll send you a rosary, some other stuff too. If you want to support this channel, I really appreciate it. And to all the Patreon patrons out there, I thank you for supporting this channel. But separation of church and state is rejected by the Catholic Church. And I'm writing a book right now, tentatively titled The Christian Patriot, 12 Ways to Create One Nation Under God. Wrote about 1,000 words of it this morning, wrote a lot of it yesterday. I'm working hard on this book, and hopefully we'll have a book cover design and more info and pre-orders coming up. But one of the difficult things for the American mind to comprehend is that separation of church and state is not constitutional. It's not in the Declaration. It was invented by Thomas Jefferson, who used the phrase the wall of separation of church and state. And Thomas Jefferson was a deist. He was not a Christian. He rejected the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He rejected all the miracles of Jesus Christ. He is an apostate. He is a heretic. And for some reason, we Christians believe that we have to submit to the opinion of Thomas Jefferson about the wall of the separation of church and state. And part of this book that I'm writing is challenging that consensus, that Christians should not accept the language of the wall of separation of church and state. Because what is the church? The church is the society, it is the family instituted by Jesus Christ. It's the assembly of the faithful, baptized, named after the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. That's the church. What is the state? The state is the assembly of citizens within a nation with citizenship. I, Taylor Marshall, am a Christian. I'm baptized. I'm also a citizen of the United States. How do you separate the church and state inside Taylor Marshall? You can't do it. It's impossible. It's not like my left arm belongs to the state and my right arm belongs to the church. And so when I pray, I use my right side, and when I vote and do jury duty, I use my left hand. No. I'm a member of the church and I'm a member of the state. You cannot separate the church and the state. It's actually ontological impossible, an ontological impossibility. That's the argument I'm making in this new book, Christian Patriot. We have to reject separation of church and state. Now, when you talk about the integration or the complementary relationship between church and state, that's where things get more interesting, and we can debate that. But the way secularists and atheists and leftists and Democrats and liberals and Satanists interpret the wall of separation of church and state, what they mean is you Christians can't say anything Christian in public or at your work or in your job or at your school or at your playground or in a parade or in a procession or in a public square. What they want to say is anything Christian cannot be in the public. Take it away. And so what they say is, we're going to bring our values to the public square, but it's not religious. But in fact, it is religious. They have their own holy days. They have their own dogma. They have their own inquisition. They don't excommunicate you. They cancel you. They have their own clergy, their own missionaries. Everything that a religion has, the new secular religion has. They just say, we're not a religion, but they act like a religion. And so for too long now, for too many decades, Christians have said, well, yeah, separation of church and state. And they hang their head and they go back into their house and they pray, it's good to pray. But they have abandoned the public square because they've been told, yeah, but separation of church and state. And they're like, darn it, you got me. And we Christians must reject that. So, Monica, I would boldly encourage you to be bold and say separation of church and state is wrong. Clutch